For me, No Man's Sky has always been somewhat of an endless adventure. There's plenty to do here, it's an open sandbox and you can just keep on going. I stop every so often, start a base, I build it up, I do a bit of interior work and then I get the itch to move on again and, well, I start exploring the galaxy pretty much endlessly. So today I'm going to talk about these adventures in No Man's Sky. This video, by the way, is sponsored by Hello Games, so my thanks to them for that. Do check out the links in the video description where you can find out absolutely everything you need to know. So No Man's Sky is almost certainly something different to everyone. Some people like building, some people like resource gathering, other people like the combat. There's a whole range of activities here and Hello Games just keep adding more year after year and, well, effectively every few months. So like I say, for me, I do like a bit of base building, but then the itch gets in and I start wanting to explore. So I get in my car, I get out on the terrain, I just keep on walking, I keep on swimming, I keep on driving, eventually I just keep on flying. The whole goal here is going from planet to planet, looking for the amazing terrain, the lovely different visuals. You never know what life form you're going to find. Ultimately, it's all, for me, about exploration. Now, many of you who've been watching this channel for any length of time will be well aware that exploration in video games is likely one of my most favourite activities. It's right there at the very top, regardless of what game I'm in. Any open world game, I just spend ages exploring the worlds. And what makes No Man's Sky particularly special for me when it comes to this type of activity is that, well, it seems to be designed ground up to actually support this type of gameplay, and that in many ways makes it pretty unique. I feel it's also worth pointing out that I'm a little bit on the older side when it comes to gaming, and by no means old aged. I'm, well, closing on 50 actually now. So yeah, probably a little bit older than many of you, not as old as perhaps some of you, but certainly the reason I mention age here is that I come from that era when sci-fi had a certain aesthetic to it. Well, at least quite a bit of sci-fi, specifically the novels of the 70s and the 80s. The artwork was, of course, very distinctive and it's, well, somewhat nostalgic today, but a lot of you probably know exactly the type of art I mean. But yes, Hello Games have definitely made a very conscious decision on this. Not only have they played with that artwork, but they've also fully leaned into it. We see this as every bit intended with their visuals, their cover art, I guess we could call it, for many of their updates. Have a look at the screen right here. And these pieces of artwork definitely have that old sci-fi novel aesthetic, don't they? And for me, these were ever so appealing when I was a kid. Walk into a bookstore and if you were lucky, you could find a novel with artwork just like this. So right now we're here in 2025. Not only do we have this artwork, but we can walk right into it and live and explore these living and breathing worlds. And more than that, to all intents and purposes, we've got infinite worlds. Galaxies absolutely full of them. So it means the game is always kind of pulling me towards the next destination, the next star system, the next planet. And this seems to hold true regardless of how long I play the game. Although that said, to be perfectly fair, procedural generation is always going to have its problems. Content is always going to be mirrored from place to place. If you play long enough, you're going to start seeing repeating elements. But that said, due to the way these elements are combined, effectively, no two planets are going to be absolutely identical. And it means that when I'm on my exploration phases within No Man's Sky, one day I might find and land on a tranquil paradise planet, warm breezes, blue skies, gentle creatures grazing in the tall grasses. The next day, I'll find myself on a barren moon under the eerie glow of a ringed gas giant, or trudging through toxic alien swamps as ammonia rain that patters down on my visor. So it really is this variety that makes exploration in No Man's Sky so compelling for me. Every planet generates its own ecosystem with flora and fauna, and some of this can be absolutely alien and lead to some rather bizarre situations. For example, this reverse rain, elements leaving the planetary surface and going up towards the sky. And this has a negative gravity effect to it because of a variety of anomalies. Sometimes this will take huge boulders up into the air along with it. And then you've got planets like this one. Just look at the way the luminescent fluorescent textures glide across the surface of the area here. This is absolutely beautiful. And the bioluminescence really is apparent both during the day cycle as well as the night cycle as well. And roaming around these planets, you'll of course encounter a variety of different creatures. Some of them are skittish, others are curious, and occasionally you'll run into a predator that eyes you as its next meal. But if you can befriend some of these creatures, you can also ride them, and that too, that really does add an extra layer to things. And of course, these creatures can also interact with each other. Sometimes they'll just do so in a friendly way, otherwise they may just gobble each other up, and yeah, that's not fun, I guess, for the one who's been eaten. All of this combined then touches on why I find exploration in No Man's Sky so appealing. And really, I guess it's connected to a bit of my personality as well when it comes to the real world. I've spoken before how I just love getting out into nature. It's one of the primary reasons I actually moved up to the North York Moors. This is one of the big national parks here in the UK. So yeah, I'm always out and about, and there's nothing quite like standing on a big hill looking towards the horizon. The massive landscapes spread out before you, and if you can do this at sunset, all the better. And in No Man's Sky, I certainly enjoy doing this as well. However, it does have a different vibe to it, because obviously these are alien landscapes here, and you get twin sunsets and all manner of different coloured skies. In fact, this brings me on to a little subject, or perhaps a pretty big subject, which is the variety of landscapes you can encounter within the game. And this over the years has quite expanded. Now early on, if you haven't played No Man's Sky for a long time, if you perhaps only looked at it back in the early days, 2016, 2017, many planets shared a lot of family resemblance. You can see familiar biomes repeat fairly frequently. But as of 2025, Halo games have dramatically increased the planetary diversity. There's a lot more variety here. And of course, some of this will still repeat, but what you're going to find is far more frequent lush jungle worlds, desolate deserts, planets, and the towering dunes in deadly heat. And you can come across scorched volcanic worlds where ash drifts in the air and rivers of lava flow, or frigid ice planets under green skies with snow blasting in the wind. And all of this really serves two purposes for me. One, it continuously pulls me back into No Man's Sky. Second, it always continuously pulls me forward through the galaxy map. That said, it's not all about pure exploration, because as you're traversing this world, as you traverse in this universe, you'll always encounter various different things. And this could be something like this, a massive freighter, a massive dreadnought attacking the civilian fleets, and you can jump in there and help the civilian fleet come into its defense. This is pretty interesting because it's somewhat of an epic space battle. Get in there under the shields of the dreadnought, take down the shield generators, and eventually, finally, if you're quick enough, you can destroy the dreadnought itself. But there is a timer here. The dreadnought will flee if it's feeling a little bit pressured, and that's exactly what happened here. But either way, the fleet was saved, and I successfully achieved that task. These are random encounters, and they really do break up the variety in the game. And you can have a lot of different activities like this, including finding derelict ships, ghost ships, and much more. In short then, No Man's Sky occupies a pretty unique space for me when it comes to games of any type. And yes, this does tie into both a lot of my personality right now, the fact I love exploration, but also the little kid within me from years ago, where I always dreamed of losing myself in these fantastic sci-fi worlds. And perhaps unsurprisingly, that's an experience I just don't get from any other game. I'm not trying to oversell it here, this is just generally how I really do feel about exploration. This whole channel, this YouTube channel, was founded on exploration. If you go right back to my earlier videos, my first videos, they were about exploration in games. And yeah, here I am today, well over 10 years later, still doing exactly that. And for that reason, No Man's Sky, to me at least, feels truly timeless. It's an experiential journey. It's a game where I can come back to again and again, year after year, and it feels that the excitement of what's over the next hill, what's on that next planet, there even after hundreds of hours. I'll catch myself really just feeling impressed and awed sometimes by the gorgeous vistas that are located all over the place. So yeah, for me, it's a game that's both incredibly relaxing as well as freeing. I can lose myself for entire evenings here, just hopping between star systems, landing wherever looks interesting, and then wandering about. And sometimes I set a small personal goal, like find a planet with the purple grass, or document all the creatures on this one world. But other times, I just go wherever the solar winds take me. And the thing, of course, about No Man's Sky is that everyone plays it in a very different way. Let me know in the comments section below how you play No Man's Sky. What are your thoughts about this game? And in fact, have you ever even tried it before? Because if not, you're probably in for quite a treat. Do check out that link in the video description because there's a whole load of information there for you. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. Do take care, and I'll catch you next time.